The movie opens in 2008. We see a woman grinding something in a large mortar and pestle while chanting some kind of ritual. Nearby, several crows are locked inside a cage. After a while, the woman adds some chopped and processed crow meat into the mortar and starts grinding it. As soon as she does, the live crows in the cage begin to panic and flap around violently. The scene then cuts to Mrs. Sudarsi Free Chicken, branch number 14, where a large number of customers have gathered. Seeing this, the owner, Mrs. Sudarsi, and her husband Taryadi are extremely happy. Later that night at home, Sudarsi is cutting a dragon fruit while her husband is washing dishes. Suddenly, she notices a crow nearby. The moment she sees it, something strange starts happening to her, and she slowly begins moving toward her husband with a knife. It's clear from her expression that she is completely out of control. Taryadi, unaware of what's happening, thanks her for all her hard work and says that their happiness today is because of her efforts. Just as Sudarsi is about to attack him, she suddenly regains her senses. Shocked and frightened, she walks away and stands in front of a mirror in a very unsettling manner. As her husband approaches and places his hand on her shoulder, she suddenly collapses unconscious. Terrified, Taryadi calls out to their two daughters, Maya and Wulan, for help. At that moment, Sudarsi opens her eyes and starts behaving strangely, saying, "My eyes are closed. No one can save me." The scene cuts to 2 years later. We see Dr. Roni, who tells Taryadi that it's time to go home. His family is waiting for him. They then head back. Now we see Taryadi's two daughters, Maya and Wulan. As soon as he arrives home, both girls run toward him and hug him tightly after 2 long years. Taryadi is overjoyed to see how much his younger daughter, Wulan, has grown. Maya thanks Dr. Roni, her uncle, for bringing their father back. He explains that their father's mental condition is now much better and more stable, but he still needs to be monitored closely. He also advises them not to discuss the past incident, Sudarsi's possession, in front of him. When their uncle asks about their mother, Maya says there has been no improvement in her condition. She explains that her mother has barely been eating or drinking lately. Still, Maya hopes that their father's return might give her the strength to fight her illness. She then asks her uncle if he would like to meet her mother. Just then, he receives a call from his wife. After the call, he tells Maya that he needs to leave immediately, as his wife is waiting for him at home. Maya requests him to stay for dinner, but he refuses due to the urgency. She thanks him again and sees him off. At the dinner table that night, Taryadi asks Maya how her studies are going and tells her to stay focused. He expresses hope that both he and Sudarsi will definitely attend their daughter's graduation ceremony. Just then, his eyes fall on Sudarsi's empty chair. He asks Maya if her mother is still at the restaurant, but Maya tells him that she's in the bedroom. Later that night, Taryadi plays some music and begins expressing his deep love and longing for his wife. He says he misses her terribly. On the other hand, the sound of the music wakes Maya up. Hearing music playing so late at night, she goes to check who's playing it. Maya enters her mother's room and sees her father dancing alone to the music, while her mother lies motionless on the bed. Seeing her father in that state makes Maya emotional, and she starts to leave. Just then, she hears the sound of a crow. When Maya pulls back the window curtain, she sees her father standing outside. Maya is shocked. She had just seen him inside the room. So how did he suddenly get outside? Confused, she quickly rushes out of the house. But her father, with a strange smile on his face, suddenly starts running and smashes his head into an iron rod. The rod pierces through his forehead and comes out the back of his head, killing him instantly. The next day, after her father's funeral, Maya bids farewell to everyone present. Just then, she notices a car approaching and gets nervous. She calls her uncle Roni, who reassures her, but says he can't come today due to an urgent surgery and will visit tomorrow. Meanwhile, 3 people step out of the car, Sudarsi's stepbrother and stepsisters. As soon as they enter the house, they begin discussing how difficult it would be for Maya to manage such a big house alone. They plan to convince her to sell the house and divide the money among themselves. Soon an argument breaks out between them over the ancestral property. They start blaming each other for their personal failures, divorce expenses, and business losses. After this, Sumarni goes to check on Maya's mother in her room. She gently strokes Sudarsi's hair, but Maya stops her, saying her mother needs rest. Before leaving, Sumarni leans in and whispers something into Sudarsi's ear. On her way out, she repeatedly stares at the mirror in the room in a very strange way. As Maya wipes and takes care of her sick mother, she becomes emotional. She says she deeply misses her mother's voice, even her scolding, and begs her to fight this illness and recover soon. The younger sister Wulan comes in and asks about their mother's condition. Maya reassures her and tells her to ask Uncle Roni about it when he arrives. After that, Maya speaks to Sudarsi's siblings and asks them to leave, explaining that she needs to take care of her mother. This immediately angers Sushipto, who lashes out and accuses Maya of being disrespectful. Bambang insists that as a family, they've come to share in the grief. They try to reason with Maya, saying that even though this isn't the right time, there are still some important matters they need to discuss. Sucipto then argues that a large amount of cash is urgently needed for their mother's treatment. So he suggests that selling the house, splitting the money, and moving into a smaller place would be the smartest decision. But Maya firmly refuses, saying that whether to sell the house or not is a completely personal family matter. In anger, she adds that if they really want the house, they'll have to wait until her mother recovers. Not wanting to escalate things further, they agree to leave. On their way out, they discuss how Maya's mother isn't improving, and how the situation is becoming more complicated. It's clear they're more worried about their own benefit than anything else. Meanwhile, Sumarni reveals Sudarsi's hair, which she secretly pulled out when they met. That night, as they sleep, Wulan starts missing her father. Maya comforts her, and tells her to pray for her father's soul. Suddenly, it begins to rain outside, and little Wulan grows anxious, thinking her father might be out there getting soaked in the rain. At midnight, when the power suddenly goes out, Maya steps out of the room to find some light. As she turns on the kitchen light, she sees Sudarsi standing right behind her. But the moment she turns back again, there's no one there. Shaken, Maya returns to the room with a light. Just then, she notices a crow inside the room. She looks toward the window, which is completely shut. As Maya throws a bedsheet to catch the crow, she suddenly sees her father standing there surrounded by a swarm of crows flying all around him. The terrifying sight leaves Maya completely speechless, and then she suddenly wakes up. It was just a nightmare. The next morning, determined to arrange money for household expenses and her mother's treatment, Maya calls in some buyers to sell old furniture. One buyer offers $4 million for everything. Maya demands $4.5 million, but the buyer refuses to go higher. Just then, his eyes fall on a large ceremonial mortar near Maya's mother. That man also wants to buy that item, and he even raises his offer, agreeing to pay a total of $6 million. But Maya refuses to sell it at any cost because it's deeply connected to memories of her mother. So the man leaves with the rest of the furniture. After that, Maya prepares to take care of her sick mother. But when she reaches her mother's back, she notices something horrifying. A strange, massive wound that wasn't there just yesterday. Seeing this, Maya is terrified and starts waiting for her uncle to arrive. As soon as her uncle arrives, little Wulan runs toward him. Uncle Roni gives her a toy stethoscope and tells her that whenever he's not around, she should pretend to be a doctor and check on her mom. Then Roni gives Maya some medicine to clean her mother's wound. But the moment Roni steps into the room, his eyes fall on the mirror. Instead of going further inside, he immediately takes Maya outside to talk. And as soon as they leave, Sudarsi suddenly opens her eyes in a very strange way. Outside, Roni warns Maya to cover the mirror in her mother's room with a cloth, or remove it completely. He suspects that the mirror might be hiding a dark secret connected to Maya's father's death. Roni then reveals a disturbing piece of family history. He tells her that Maya's grandfather had 3 wives, and 2 of them, Sujina and Tuya, died under mysterious circumstances. No one was allowed to see their bodies, and they were buried in sealed coffins. Roni says that he once heard rumors that Maya's grandfather had sacrificed both of his wives to the devil. At first he didn't believe it, but one day he overheard his own father taking a strange oath in front of their graves. In a flashback, Maya's grandfather Ricardo is shown slaughtering a chicken, drinking its blood, and then cutting his own hand to let the blood drip onto a strange sieve-like object. After that, he lies down over a ritual setup and keeps chanting over and over like a mantra, "Take me with you forever." As soon as he hears this, a supernatural entity emerges from the mirror and starts crushing Maya's grandfather in a brutal, horrifying way. Little Roni secretly witnesses everything from outside the door. Roni explains that the mirror now in Maya's mother's bedroom is the same one he once saw years ago at his father's farm. He reveals that the entity's name is Perewangan. Roni explains that his father, driven by greed for wealth, had kept a demonic entity that required regular human sacrifices. Maya is terrified and asks what all this has to do with her mother. Before Roni can answer, he receives a call from his wife. He hides the truth about being at Sudarsi's house and lies, saying he's checking on a patient and will return home soon. Maya realizes he didn't tell his wife the truth. Roni promises to help her and tells her to call him if she's ever in danger. As he leaves, he reminds her once again to keep the mirror covered. Right then, we begin to feel the presence of the Perewangan demon inside the house. Following her uncle's instructions, Maya goes to cover the mirror. But as soon as she opens the door, she sees the demon standing right behind her mother. Terrified, she immediately shuts the door and tries to call Roni, but he doesn't answer. Meanwhile, Wulan insists on going to check on her mother with her toy, but Maya stops her. Suddenly, their mother calls out to Wulan. Hearing her voice, Wulan runs straight into the room. Maya, trembling with fear, slowly walks toward the room. Gathering her courage, she steps inside and sees her mother affectionately holding Wulan. In a strange tone, her mother asks Maya to bring her a kabaya, a traditional dress. Despite her fear, Maya takes it out of the wardrobe and hands it to her. Then cautiously, Maya checks her mother's back and is shocked. The large wound that was once there has completely healed, in a very unnatural way. Maya is stunned. Her mother then asks her, "Aren't you happy to see me healed?" Meanwhile, Roni speaks with a shaman. He is certain that Perewangan is behind everything, because as a child, he once saw that very demon devour his father. He asks the shaman to come immediately. Later, Roni stops his car at a railway crossing due to a signal. Just then his wife calls him, but the moment he answers he is left speechless, because the voice on the other end isn't his wife's. It's the voice of the Perewangan demon. Hearing this, Roni falls into a hypnotic trance. He gets out of the car and walks straight onto the railway tracks, just standing there. At that moment, a high-speed train comes rushing in and crushes him, killing Roni instantly. Meanwhile, Maya dresses her mother in that special outfit, and both sisters hug her tightly. Maya's mother then says she wants to see herself in the mirror, so Maya helps her stand in front of it. Later that night, when Maya wakes up, she notices that Wulan is not in bed. As she goes outside searching for her, she sees someone who looks like Wulan, covered in a bedsheet, standing in a very strange way. The moment Maya pulls off the sheet, Wulan suddenly jumps and scares her. Wulan tells Maya that she's playing with their mother, then runs back into her mom's room. Nervously, Maya follows her. But just then, behind Maya, we again see someone under the bedsheet who disappears the very next moment. Anyway, when Maya enters the room, she sees Wulan pretending to be a doctor checking their mother. Sudarsi then asks why Uncle Roni hasn't been coming anymore. At that exact moment, Maya gets a call from her aunt. As Maya steps outside to take the call, Sudarsi starts laughing in a very strange, unsettling way. As soon as Maya answers, her aunt bursts out in anger. She reveals that her husband has died. She starts cursing Maya's family, calling them cursed, and blaming them for everything. Hearing about Uncle Roni's death, Maya breaks down in tears. The next day, Sumarni, Susipto, and Bambang are returning from Roni's funeral. Susipto is furious, because Roni's wife threw them out of the funeral. Now all of them are terrified. First Maya's father, and now Roni dying one after another, under mysterious circumstances. They begin to fear who in the family will be next. As they start accusing each other of being the next target based on age, an argument breaks out between them. Just then, they narrowly escape a horrific accident. That night, Susipto and Bambang secretly sneak into Sudarsi's house. They've come to bury items used for black magic in the courtyard. But as soon as Susipto starts digging the ground, we see a strange woman standing behind them, watching their every move from a distance. Anyway, after burying the black magic items, they quickly run away from that place. Susipto reaches home and calls Sumarni to confirm that the job is done. But right at that moment, he senses a strange presence in his room. The lights start flickering in a very unnatural way. Terrified, Susipto grabs a sword and shouts, demanding whatever it is to show itself. He begins searching the entire room. Suddenly, he hears a chilling demonic laugh. Out of nowhere, a monstrous hand shoots out from under the wardrobe and grabs his leg. Panicking, Susipto starts striking it repeatedly with his weapon. But then he realizes something horrifying. He's been attacking his own leg this whole time. Because of that, his leg gets completely severed. At that moment, the demon slowly crawls out of the wardrobe in a terrifying form and drags the blood-soaked Susipto away. The scene cuts to the next morning. We see Maya has covered the mirror with a curtain. Just then, she receives a phone call. Before answering, her eyes fall on Wulan, who appears to be feeding her mother worms with a spoon. Shocked, Maya rushes over and knocks the spoon out of Wulan's hand. But in reality, there were no worms on the spoon. Wulan, upset by this, walks outside and starts crying. Maya, overwhelmed with guilt, apologizes to her again and again. She emotionally confesses that she has no one in her life except Wulan. Wulan makes Maya promise that she will never yell at her again. That same night, while Maya is sleeping, we see a crow sitting on her bed. When she wakes up, she's terrified to see it. Then, she feels something under her pillow. As she lifts it, she finds a dead crow. The crow looks brutally crushed, as if someone had smashed it to pieces. The sight makes Maya vomit, and horrifyingly, along with the vomit, the crow's intestines and feathers come out. Seeing blood all over her face, she panics and rushes to wash it off. But no matter how many times she washes her face, the bloodstains just won't disappear. After several attempts, suddenly the blood vanishes, and so do the crow's remains from the sink, as if nothing ever happened. Meanwhile, Wulan wakes up and walks out of the room. And as Maya is coming back from the bathroom, she hears the sound of a crow once again. Maya walks ahead and notices a crow lying on the floor, completely soaked in blood. Then she pulls back the window curtain and sees that the glass is shattered in a strange way with a hole in it. Outside, she spots Wulan. Maya calls out to her, but Wulan doesn't respond, so Maya rushes outside. She sees Wulan climbing on top of a well. Somehow, before anything bad can happen, Maya manages to pull her down. She quickly takes Wulan back inside the house. As they leave, the camera slowly pans into the well, and we see Sudarsi inside it. Back in the house, Maya puts Wulan to sleep and then heads toward her mother's room. As soon as she opens the door, the curtain covering the mirror suddenly falls. In the reflection, Maya sees her mother awake, staring. She steps inside, but once she gets closer, she realizes her mother is actually asleep. Gathering courage, Maya quietly takes the mirror out of the room. As she carries it outside, we catch a glimpse of a demon's reflection in it, clinging to the ceiling. Once outside, Maya tries to break the mirror. She hits it with a stone, then even strikes it with a stick, but it doesn't break at all. Defeated, she leaves the mirror there and goes back inside. The moment she leaves, Perewangan appears near the mirror. The next morning, Maya walks into her mother's room and is shocked to see the mirror placed back exactly where it was before. Acting normal, she tells Wulan to bring a dragon fruit from the fridge since their mother loves it. Then, Maya tries to change her mother's clothes. Her mother says she wants to wear her favorite green kabaya. While helping her change, Maya nervously checks her back and sees that same horrifying wound again. Suddenly, her mother tells them about her own death. Hearing this, Maya is terrified and tries to escape the house with Wulan, but Wulan refuses to leave because she insists on feeding their mother the dragon fruit. Maya tries to convince her that it's no longer safe to stay there, but Wulan refuses to listen and runs straight into her mother's room. As soon as she steps inside, she sees that her mother's body has turned green. That sight terrifies her, and now even Wulan is afraid of her own mom. Just then, Maya rushes in and pulls Wulan out of the room. They run outside and quickly get into the car trying to escape. On the way, Maya stops at a signal on an empty road. Suddenly, an old woman approaches them. Thinking she's a beggar, Maya offers her some money. But the woman chillingly says she doesn't want money. She wants a soul. Without saying a word, Maya speeds up the car. But suddenly that same old woman appears again outside the movie hall. Somehow Maya and Wulan manage to get away and finally reach Aunt Sumarni's house. Crying, they beg her for help, and she quickly lets them inside. Aunt Sumarni reveals that while trying to help before she already lost Susipto, that's why she told Uncle Bambang to run far away. Maya apologizes for everything and explains the horrifying changes in her mother, her skin turning green and her eyes glowing red. Then Aunt Sumarni drops a terrifying truth. She says the entity inside the house is no longer Maya's mother, Sudarsi, but something evil. She confirms that a dark spirit has possessed her body. Maya, helpless, asks what they should do now. Sumarni explains that for a long time they wanted to get rid of that house because it was the same place where Maya's father first made a deal with the demon. She regrets that the cursed mirror should have been thrown into the South Sea long ago. When Sudarsi's restaurant business suddenly started growing in a strange way, Sumarni already had her doubts. She is now certain that Maya's mother summoned that demon again. In return, the demon demanded a sacrifice from someone close. But when Sudarsi refused to sacrifice Tariati, the demon took Tariati's life on its own and destroyed Sudarsi's health, along with the family's entire fortune. And Sumarni explains that Maya's mother revived the very deal her father once tried to end, a deal that binds the next 7 generations. She believes it's already too late to save Maya's mother, but there is still one last chance left to save Maya and Wulan. Auntie hands Maya a water pot filled with sacred water that has been blessed with South Sea incantations. She instructs Maya to pour this water over her mother from feet to head exactly 7 times. But then Auntie reveals an extremely terrifying and extreme alternative. If the ritual doesn't work, Maya will have no choice but to burn her mother alive. She reminds Maya that the entity inside the house is no longer her real mother, and as the next heir of the family, it's Maya's responsibility to end this curse. Maya agrees, but asks Auntie to keep Wulan safe with her. However, Auntie insists that Wulan is safest with Maya herself, so Maya takes Wulan along and leaves. As soon as they're gone, Sumarni begins a horrifying ritual. Suddenly, Perewangan jumps down on her from above and brutally decapitates her. In the next scene, Maya reaches her house and tells Wulan to stay inside the car and keep the doors locked. She strictly warns her not to open the door for her mother under any circumstances, and to honk the horn if she senses danger. Maya enters the house and turns on the lights, but the bulb suddenly goes out. So she lights a lamp and walks into her mother's room. Following Auntie's instructions, she places the lamp down and begins pouring the water from the designated spot. Meanwhile, outside, Wulan sees someone approaching and, terrified, lowers her seat and shuts her eyes. The man comes closer and knocks on the car window. When Wulan opens her eyes, she sees Uncle Roni standing there. At the same time, Maya completes pouring the water 7 times. Just then, she hears a sound from outside. When she looks through the window, she realizes that Wulan has already stepped out of the car. At that exact moment, her mother awakens in a horrifying form. Meanwhile, Roni takes Wulan into the sacrifice room, but as soon as they enter, his true form is revealed. He transforms into a demonic figure resembling Wulan's grandfather and throws her into a massive mortar. Meanwhile, Maya runs to the spot and sees that Wulan is trapped inside a mortar, with her mother standing on one side and her grandfather on the other. Maya's mother orders her to kiss the hand of her dead grandfather. When Maya refuses, her mother points the heavy pestle toward Wulan, threatening her. With no other choice, Maya steps forward and kisses her grandfather's lifeless hand. Her mother then gently strokes her head. But at that exact moment, Wulan regains consciousness and lets out a terrifying scream. Hearing her scream snaps Maya back to her senses. She immediately attacks her mother and tells Wulan to run. Maya then begins crushing her mother inside the same mortar. Strangely, every injury inflicted on her mother also affects her dead grandfather's body. As soon as Sudarsi's body goes completely lifeless, her grandfather vanishes into thin air. As things calm down, the two sisters hug each other and rush to their car. Just then, they remember the mirror. Maya tells Wulan to stay in the car and gives her a strict warning not to step out under any circumstances. Wulan agrees. Maya enters the house, but the moment she touches the mirror, Perewangan attacks her from behind and knocks her unconscious. After that, the demonic entity goes after Wulan. Somehow, Wulan manages to escape and runs into the house, only to find the demon standing near Maya. Thinking quickly, Wulan grabs a lamp and throws it at the creature, setting Perewangan on fire. She then wakes Maya up, and right before their eyes, the demon burns to ashes, bringing its terror to an end. The next day, following their aunt's advice, they throw the cursed mirror into the South Sea. Exhausted, they fall asleep in their car by the shore. But when Wulan wakes up, Maya is nowhere to be seen, so she steps out to look for her. With this, the story ends here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Also, subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.